Hello, welcome to my week 3 follow up. The CSS, the product or component presentation. Let's start off with the first component, which is the header component. Um, and basically, what I did, I took and going to the CSS and the text wrangler. I went in and I put the body tag and I put in the background um, picture or whatever for the actual component, followed by how I want it positioned and the font family that the overall component elements use. Then I use a header tag to for the actual header. Um, well, not the header, but the H1 tag for the actual H1 um, to actually design and present the H1. I use that, which is the actual thingy here, the billet club. Let's go to my actual. This is my actual finished product right here, um, which you can see. I have. It looks pretty much like the actual one here. Um, Going back to the CSS, I continue with the construction of the paragraph at the bottom here. Which talks just basically encourages you to relax. You or lets you know you can relax while playing billiards. Then I have the navigation part, which I put into an unordered list. So I kind of designed the unordered list and the list items within the list within the unordered list, along with how the actual A tags, which is connected to um, the elements within the header, how that's going to be designed right here, the A tag. I use some CSS selectors to design or present the each element, the line element between each li that does have the line, which is the first one, second one, third, and the fourth one here. So I used CSS selectors to actually select the actual ones that's going to have the line item. I think I used after. Yeah, I used the after um, element as well to select how I wanted to present it within the actual component. Now going forward, we'll move a little bit further. I'm going to probably skip around to different components in order to not drag out the actual video because it could go out a little long. We're going to skip around and I'm going to go to element 3. Which we'll see element 3 here is the testimonial section. We have our header here with a paragraph, and basically this represents the actual person that leaves a message. You'll be able to scroll through and hover over. In reality, if you go to the site and it goes and shows each person's comment they made or testimonial they made. To go to my actual component, we'll see here. This is what I did. I forgot my triangle there. Gotta go back and put that. Well, again, I use the body, the section of the HTML to design the background part of the the actual component, and I use the actual article tag to actually use that from the HTML here that describes or has the whole section with the all of the elements within this article tag. And I gave the actual configuration with padding the top and some color and positioning. Then we go here to the heading. The header tag I use the H2 header tag, and then it goes into the font size, the line height, and font weight, how thick the letters are going to be, or the font going to be, and the spacing between each letter, which I also did a text transform, which puts all of the, and I use uppercase, which puts all of the letters in the header capitalized. Moving forward, we have the color and font size for the H6 tag here used in the component, which basically is where or who the where the person is from, or what company or whatever this person may be with, who right up under the actual comment that they made. Then I have the images. All the images we have they were actually squared. I put the border radius around it, and the actual border color and border around the actual picture, and the position of the image. As we can see in my picture here, the border is white around the picture. The pictures are rounded off. Again, we have the header sized and presented in the paragraph here, which is the actual thing the person is saying. The only other element besides having the background, the header, the H6 tag, and the images was this page up symbol that was in the picture that basically takes you back up from the bottom of the page, or wherever the position you are in the page, to the top of the page, as you can see here. And I use the basically the top div for the page up positioning symbol, which basically got the position right here, and the size and everything for the design of it right there. And I use text decoration of none for all 8 elements to not have any kind of decoration attached to the actual A element. Then I have a hover symbol background for the actual page up element within that actual component. Okay, we'll move right along. The next one I'm going to do too, that's an aside that I did, where you're finding it within the actual element or the page, where it is shown to be within the page a news section or a news aside within a section of the actual page here. Go here. This is my version of it. It was actually placed on the side in that particular section of the page. You can see again. It's actually like basically the same, as you can see. go to the CSS and see what the CSS looks like. I hit the wrong thing. I'm sorry about that. CSS. The CSS we have for that component. Let's see what component this was. This is actually component number 4. Let's see component number 4, the CSS here. Use the background to get that gray color in the back of the actual side, and the font family for all of the fonts within the actual element here, component. The actual side, we used the white background, and we positioned it and centered it. We have the width of it and the height of it. If we move along, we see the actual heading tag was used for the actual tag here that says latest news. So I did that, and I used the font size, the weight, the color, and positioned it and all. And I used the class of red to kind of put that this with the number here, which is under the time element within the component. Also, I use CSS selector here to select a certain part of the article paragraph, which is a part of the aside within the aside. Colored it, got a background, the size of it, basically the padding, which is the inside of the actual element which the numbers are in. It kind of makes a space around that number on the inside. Align the text center and use the font size of 40. Again, I use another selector, and basically this right here helped me create the actual triangle on the side here. Moving along, the next selector I use again in this paragraph helps me design the next actual paragraph here and be able to format it the way I need it to format. And also use the span tag, which gave me the opportunity to do some design here on the actual paragraph here. Okay. That does it for that pretty much. We'll move to the next element. We do go down a little further to see. We use this one here, number 7, the blog post. As you can see with this picture here, we have a header tag which gives you the title or lets you know what this section is about. Then you go in, you have, it's a blog post, so you have a picture of every person who's posted a blog and the title of their blog along with the write-up on the blog. On the side, which is on the side here within this section, that the company lists other services that they do. Okay. Now to look at what I created and compare that in the CSS, you see you have the same thing. I have the title here, the actual person's picture with their name, the date of the blog post, the actual write-up, and the title of the blog post. And it gives you a hover, so actual site, you can go click on this link and take it to the full article or full blog post on each one. Then over here on the side, I have the title, of course, and then the different things that the company does, the services that it does. And I have the triangle that was created also in CSS. If we look at the CSS, for that component, we'll see the background and stuff created. and design, then the section, the body, the header tag is designed and constructed through making sure that it had, positioning and color, size and weight of fonts, and um, same thing. We go to the whole article part section and the images that were used. Um, then we got the H3 tag that we use within the component, and the H2 tag we use within the component. Which basically this represents the heading of the blog and post, and this represents the actual heading over to the side for the aside. Then this represents the paragraph, how we design the color, the font, the positioning of it, and the size of it. Each A tag was designed here and constructed to present it as far as having no text decoration and having some color. The hovers also. And basically, we go through, you'll see that some selectors, CSS selectors were used and stuff like that. And basically, positioning, it helps with positioning and size of that particular element. Same thing with the time element, gives color, font size, and positioning. The whole aside, which is the other surfaces off, the other services that were offered, that's actual design. And this is the list style of none. I use a list style of none to take away the style that was there, and I created my own style here with the triangles through CSS. And that's pretty much the aside, hover, and the A section, A tag, color, and stuff like that, and the heading here for the aside. I thought this was the actual right here, but we'll go back and we'll see that we have this as a header. This is a header. I'm sorry. This is a header. This is a header, and this was a header used. So that's what we used through the section. This was the first header, H1, H2, and this was the H, or the H3, H2, and this was the H3, and this was the H4. Okay, moving along. We'll go to this next one here, which is about work section. As you can see how it's designed. You have the images on the top. You have a background somewhat that's on the page. I just use, when you see mine, I just use this background part right here instead of all of that. It wasn't necessary because if you do the page, it scrolls on the page, it does some different things to transition into that. But we have the picture, the heading of each section, what the section talks about, and stuff right here. We look at what I did, you can see basically the same thing. Pictures, the heading, what it's all about, the colors and stuff are there, and presented as such. Look again, see. Let's see. I don't know why this always, I think. Anyway, this is the actual thing that I did. Now, if we look at the CSS of it, same thing, the body of it, section, design. Then we have the article design itself, how we want everything to float and position within the page and the size of it. Each header, which is use H2 tags, gives you got color, the font size, the padding within the center of the actual element, and the other positioning. And you get the H3 tag, same thing. Color, positioning, and size. Paragraph gives you a little padding for the paragraph, so to make sure it's not up against the side. We use padding left to move it to away from the left side, and kind of put it to match the other elements within the component. Then we use the different classes here to design for the yellow background part, the gold background, and the orange background. Which if we go back to the component, you see here, everything is lined up as such. Next component was a contract form. Pretty simple to design. We use just a basic header, some placeholders, input fields, and submit button. Get mine, same thing here. Go back. Design of the section, the body, fonts that's going to be used, the H2 header that was used, which is contract form, how it was designed with the weight of the font, the size of the font, how high the line height you have, the color and the positioning, how each input is designed with its display block is positioned a certain way, and the size and height of it and stuff a certain way. The text inside, this is how it's positioned, and so forth and so on here. I used this for the last section, which was the message section, to give it a height and width. And I used the CSS selector for that. Then this is how the button was designed, as far as the margin and the width of it, the height of the background color, color of the letters, how the text was aligned, the font size and weight that was used, and text transformed up uppercase to put all the letters uppercase, and having no border around the button, and of course some button hover. We'll go back and you'll see here how the button hovers and stuff. Go back and see, I'll do the last component here, which is a feedback call to action form. Get feedback from individual visiting the site. Have a header, a basic paragraph of or write-up of about the company, where it's located. It appears, I guess, here on the feedback. Then you have your name, phone number, email inputs, and your message input, along with the button here to send it once you've done it. We'll take a look at mine, and basic same thing. You have the feedback header, the paragraph here, each individual input, your name, phone, email, and the message section to leave your message, and the button here to click when you're ready to send, which gives a hover effect here, as you'll see on the actual source site. That's how that's designed there. Now we look at the actual CSS I did. Got the background color for this body and the section, the actual heading tag, how the text is aligned, the color of it, the size of the font, how far you will have it from the top of the actual section, and how much of a margin you want below the actual header. Which then you have the paragraph, how you got the text aligned, the color, all the letters are transformed, made uppercase, the size of the font, and the padding from the bottom of the paragraph. Then you have the button design of the button, the size, how the text is aligned inside, the margin around it, the background, the color of the letters, the size of the font, and the weight, and a border put around the actual button. Each input is designed here with its height, its width, and the positioning, and each how the text is transformed to uppercase, and the size of the font used. Then all A tags decorated with none. And the button hover here gives your button a color once you hover over the button. As you can see, when I hover over this button, it changes color some. Then, of course, how the form should be laid out right here. It's done right here. Then the text area where the message is gives you height, width, the margin or position, and this font size uppercase was used for the text and the padding within inside the actual component. Well, that gives us an overview of this week's work. It's pretty decent and good learning experience from reading some of the actual write-ups that you guys did on this week's discussion. Helped out with some of this stuff on some of these elements and how to make things work while we had some difficulties in. I appreciate everybody's help, and it's been a good week. I look to see you guys for next week, week 4. Thank you.